Hey everybody, Hero Rations here. I'm going to do a quick overview, we'll call it instructional video, on our Reproduction Field Ration K and Ration Type Ks from World War II. This one here is a Type 3 mid-war, so roughly about 1943 or so till the end of the war. These would be accurate. I like this type because it's still before the full color morale type packaging, but you got like a lot of good nomenclature. They added the ingredients or contents to the back with some instructions on how to prepare. And the cool thing with these is, you just need water, preferably hot for the breakfast and supper, to enjoy them. And so I wanted to kind of cover this, and I really don't think I made a video like this before. I think that I've covered opening and stuff like that, but for this video I kind of wanted to go through, we'll call it instructional, on some tips. So the first thing here is like the outer carton, right? You have the outer carton with the inner waxed box, and what I do want to cover too is reuse of the packaging too. So these outer cartons are kind of not delicate, but definitely susceptible to wear and handling more so than the inner waxed box. That's just how they had them packaged. And if you are a reenactor and you want to reuse our Ks, which is what they're designed for, you want to try to keep this outer box in good shape, right? Wrap it up in like waterproof bag, because a stained up, beat up old box doesn't look very good. These were issued right from the crate, so they should be in pretty good shape. So the other thing you can do is just actually hang that off to the side and just carry just the wax box. Some soldiers chose to do that since the outer one was more or less unnecessary. And this can definitely handle a lot more field use. So let's pop this guy open here. And I've got some authentic utensils and mess kit here, and I'm going to show you. So I like opening these here with my mesh knife because it's just a lot easier to do, less likely to cut myself, and it's much easier to create like a nice clean cut on that box flap. So now I've got access to the inside, and when you choose to reuse these and reseal them, simply all you have to do is just glue these flaps back shut. And if you tear it at all or anything like that, like right there, all that's going to be hidden from all the glue. And it's nice when you open it up, and it looks just like originals did. We package ours just like the originals. And I probably should have elaborated on it a little bit more, but the K-rations, we have not just this mid-war type, but the early war and late war morale type, with all the packaging and contents, everything that are correct for those periods of the war. Just dump everything out just like that. And then inside the K-ration, typically how it was packaged is on one half of the box. You had your, call it your accessory packet with tons of different food items, right? And then you had your canned entree and cigarettes, and sometimes the gum was like in the early war ones, the gum's actually packaged inside here. And that's how it was kind of arranged. So let's check out the entree can first, since that's kind of the most complex. Everybody said, well, during World War II, they didn't have twist type cans and they didn't have freeze-dried foods. Well, to talk about the cans in these rations for a little bit, the biggest challenge is that, yeah, absolutely. In World War II, they used a twist key type can like this one here, and a slotted twist key like this one here would be inserted there. Then you twist it all the way around to open that can. It would be one-time use only, and that style of canning is kind of gone away. The ability to can wet food with these contents is a huge battle in reproducing rations, and why we have gone to a reusable can with freeze-dried contents that match what's on the can for the experience and reusability, right? I can reuse this. I can fill this up again over and over and over again to my heart's content. And again, all you need is some hot water or just regular water if you choose to. So we're going to rehydrate this chopped ham and eggs. One thing that we try to do too, everybody says, well, how much water do I need to add? Blah, 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 right? Now, the reality is you don't need to really measure it. So what we've done is, because nobody wants to be doing this out in the field or at your next event, right? Measuring water and some of the packaging, is that in a number of our entrees, we have we've added tomato powder or bouillon powder. So what ends up happening is the extra water simply gets absorbed to be like a broth or a juice, which limits your need to do that. So let that sit here for a minute. Usually it depends on the entree, but a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes tops, for that to rehydrate. In the meantime, we'll talk about the other contents here. Of course, you've got your chewing gum with the historically accurate packaging in there. And we've got the accessory packet. Breakfast usually came with 2 assorted packs of biscuits, a fruit bar, and sugar cubes. And of course, most importantly, is your pack of coffee. And our foray into recreating World War II rations actually started from the need to make the biscuits. That's actually that was our thing. That was the first thing that we did was just make the biscuits. It's a very, very complex recipe. If you've ever tried to make them before, I give you credit. It took us a good bit of work to try to figure out over the years, our first year or two, that we did this to try to figure out how to get them right. We make a number of different original recipes. It's not hard tack. You can see they're not graham crackers or club crackers. They're much thicker than that. And of course, we make them with the correct nomenclature, just like originals. And we've got 2 packs of biscuits there. We've got, of course, the Dromedary fruit bar here made by Hill Brothers. We've got our packet of coffee, and then we've got our sugar cubes. So let's bring over our canteen cup. And we make a couple different packets. Like if you want one in particular, let us know. These ones here, these Nescafe ones, are one-time use only. But if you plan it right, let's see where the perforation is here. If you plan it right, you can open it and then reseal the packaging if you want to. So if you're crafty, right, if you're into arts and crafts at all, or your spouse is, and you can borrow their stuff, you will save yourself a lot of headache or the need to reorder a lot of items. Simply just cut right there and then use a sealer. You can use like an iron or a hair straightener or an impulse sealer if you want. As far as the filler, right, as easy as it is to just put some, what I guess we'll call it just cheap freeze-dried coffee in here. That's not what we do. The soluble coffee that they used in World War II was more fine powder. So we actually use an espresso powder. We actually get that. We get a couple different places, but I think this one is actually at Starbucks. So if you can find it at Starbucks, get it. It's really not bad. Makes a good strong cup of coffee. So we've got that mixed in there. And then, I don't know, they gave us 4 lumps of sugar. That's what they gave us in these. And you can see even the lumps of sugar are historically accurate. They're sugar tablet. The correct nomenclature, I think it was like this hostess size, I think is what they're called. Odd shape, like they're not just 2 regular sugar cubes lumped together. They're a little different than that. They're kind of like, let me push them a little bit further away so you can see without it going out of focus. And yeah, they're interesting. You can see like that. And you can, take care of that packaging and reuse it, or buy the individual replacements from us. We'll put that sugar cube in there. Let that go. And then we can pop these guys open and pop open the fruit bar here. We make these with a couple different kinds of dried fruits and nuts, and then press them to originals. We cellophane wrap everything, right? Nothing is just simply plastic wrap or anything. We actually use like real brand called Olean cellophane, old stock Olean cellophane into the fruit bar there. Not the best thing in the world, but if I need a serving of fruit and some fiber, that's the way to go. Sometimes if you still got water that's pretty hot, or if you want to like put it over heat, if you mix like a chunk of this in with like one of the sugar cubes or sugar tablets mashed up, you can actually make like a jam with them too. As for the biscuits, I usually like these. Again, we make a couple different recipes, but the Nabisco here, these Nabisco K2 biscuits, K2 graham, like a graham cracker type recipe. And of course we sell these individually too, just like originals, 3 or 4 per stack, and they make a great complement to the ham and eggs, just like that. There's a couple photos, period photos of soldiers eating the K-ration ham and eggs just like this, with using the biscuits to scoop it up. It's always good. What a great combination, because you got the saltiness of the ham in there, and then the sweetness of those biscuits. Even if you don't want to buy anything from us, that's okay, but I do recommend that you try Spam and eggs, or chopped ham and eggs with graham crackers. It's like such a kind of unknown, not a regular breakfast combination, but it is very, very good. And my coffee's still a little bit hot. That's a big, strong cup of coffee right there. And the soldiers' appreciation of the breakfast K-ration came in partially because of the coffee. And at the very end of the war, they finally listened to soldiers what they wanted in their rations, and they finally added additional coffee. So what they did was they put a second pack of coffee in the breakfast, moved the toilet paper over, and added a cereal bar, which replaced one of these packs of biscuits. And then they added a third cup of coffee, or packet of the soluble coffee, to the supper unit as well, instead of one to the dinner. And the reason for that is the dinner, the concept was that the food items in there were meant to be where a soldier can typically eat them without any heat source. Your dinner was your midday meal, kind of like a lunch. And that's the reason for why it includes the cheese and the lemon juice powder, or a different juice powder. It's for that very reason, is that you can prepare it with cold water, and the cheese is meant to be eaten cold. This is a good sized serving of the ham and eggs, though it may not look that way. Quite a bit of egg material in there. And all these items, including the hams themselves, you can order from us individually. So I think somebody told me one time they were just thrilled with their purchase, kind of like did the math on what they needed, and basically said, hey, I need a few packs of these biscuits. I'm going to get some of the freeze-dried ham and eggs from an online supplier. I'm going to need a few more sugar cubes just to replace those, and a few more fruit bars. But I think that they said that they were able to use their K-ration packaging like 4 or 5 different times for, you know, before they started having to replace like the outer packaging and stuff like that. And from a cost standpoint, I mean, that's really, really cool to hear. I mean, this is a good full meal, and when you look at, you know, keeping our costs down for reenactors and living historians, that's humongous up. Somebody can refill this kit with just a few items around their house, a little bit of glue, and a couple of our replacement items for, you know, under $20. I don't even think you can buy like a meal at Five Guys for under $20 now. Last but not least, too, is the cigarettes themselves, right? Somebody said, well, do you include anything? No, we don't. And the reason is that online sellers, platforms, restrict the sale of tobacco, really in any form. These are really easy to reuse and refill yourself. So just like we open the outer package, like if you wanted to add smokes to this, simply open it up, pull this guy out. It sits on the side of the entree can, and get some either size longs or 100s. Cut the filters off, a pair of scissors, lay them in here across this way, close it shut, put it back, glue it shut, and that's it. And this is totally reusable. I mean, you can reuse this little Chesterfield box or some of our other cigarette brands over and over again. Pretty cool stuff. So I hope you guys like the video here, because I mean, I really kind of want to not just cover the rations themselves and, you know, what it looks like and see them prepared now with the freeze-dried entrees, but I did want to kind of go over tips and tricks for their prep and reuse, and of course give you guys some good nice close-up shots of what this would have looked like, or very similar to what it looked like in 1943, 1944, and 1945. Check us out if you haven't already. We have a pretty good following on our Facebook page, as I'm going to try to do my business spiel with a mouthful of eggs and ham. But our Facebook page is awesome. We try to update that with content every day. Our website is our favorite place, you know, to direct folks to look at any of our products. That's hero-rations.com. And we're also on eBay and Etsy, if you prefer. Guys, thanks for checking this out. Check out our products, and we'll definitely do some more videos like that with some of our other rations and different Ks.